Shop Talk, brought to you by TuckerSurvival.com. Hello, and welcome to Shop Talk, where sometimes we talk shop and sometimes we just talk. But today, we're talking shop. My name's Marc, and what we're going to be going over is what I feel are the 5 essential battery-powered power tools, hand tools, that every prepper needs. And then I'm going to talk about 2 extras that you could add to that later. But these 5 I feel are really needed around the house to fix things, to do a variety of different types of things. So I picked these out for kind of the dual function. Always want to have multiple functions that you can get out of a power tool, or any of your tools for that matter. So what I want to start with, these are all Ryobi, the Ryobi greens. Now I'm not paid to endorse these products, but I started buying these a number of years ago because they were a good, more inexpensive Ryobi, kind of an entry level. But I tell you what, these things are durable. I've had like these 2 here for probably close to 4 years now, and I bang the heck out of them and use them out in the dirt, and they work great. So this is the line I'm going to be talking about, but you could apply this to any of the other lines out there. I'm just talking about the specific power tools that I think you should have around the house, especially if the power goes out. These have nice big batteries in them. You can buy bigger batteries and keep yourself going. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is one of these little small kind of hand drivers, and I like this one in particular because you can spin it around and make it into a pistol grip. Now they do make one like this that's strictly a pistol grip, but I like this one because you can get that screwdriver action out of it. And the other one I was referring to, it's got the same style battery. You're going to plug in the little wall wart into there. So I figured for not a whole lot more money, I would get 2 different types. So, and the tips just pop out. You can put whatever tips you want in there. I suppose if you could use it for drilling, if you had some small little holes you wanted to do. I wouldn't try that on going through a bunch of 2x4s with it with a 1/4 inch bit. But anyway, and it's got 2 speeds on it. Like I say, you got your little handle lock there, and this is a direction right there. So anyway, good starter one. You can just keep that even in your home little kit with other little small tools, pliers, and things you might need. Second one is the Ryobi Drill, and it's got the chuckless, keyless chuck right there, and that way you can just put those drills in there, tighten it up. And this thing works really good in conjunction with the other one I'm going to talk about. But I like it because it's got the multiple speeds on it. So you've got the clutch drive in there. So if you are using it for screwing stuff in, then you can clutch it down. Otherwise, it locks in to the drill position and you're good to go. It's got 2 different speeds right there on the top. And there's your reverse right there for putting it the other way. You can even put a little bit down there if you want. It's got a little magnetic thing there to stick screws and stuff on. And I use the battery packs. That's the cool thing about Ryobi is they haven't changed the design of the battery pack for years. I've got a really old Ryobi kit set that my dad had given me, and I popped one of these things in there, and it works great. So this is the 3 amp hour right here. They make a 4 amp hour, and I think they make one bigger than that too. And then I've got the multiple charger, so you can do, I think it's 6 of them on there at one time, which is really cool. It kind of just cycles them. So as it charges one, it moves to the next one. But these things work really good. So I usually use the 3s on the drills, and I've got some 4s I use for the other little more power consuming tools. So that's your basic Ryobi drill right there, just for drilling holes. You can put screwdriver tips in them. But this one right here, this is the ratcheting version. Now you can get these together in a kit. That's why the way I got mine. I got a nice little bag for them. So that's the way to go. That way you can get a deal on them. It's got the charger in there too. So this one, it's got the little push-pull chuck right there. So you can put drill bits that come with that type of a tip. It's a little hexagon thing that goes in there. This one does ratchet though. So for drilling, that might not be a desired thing for you to do unless you're doing some concrete drilling or masonry, then that might come in handy for you. But I typically use this just for screws, and it doesn't have a clutch drive on it, but it does have that ratcheting. So when it gets to that certain level, it kind of start ratcheting in there. So if you're doing like some really long deck screws and stuff like that, use them a lot for that. Stuff that's a little more subtle, I'll probably go with this one, or just get a regular screwdriver. Or if I really need it, I'll use this and use it on a real low speed and a real light a ratchet on it. Clutch drive. So anyway, this one is similar. It's got the little place for the tip up front, magnet. You got your direction switchers right there. And again, I'm running 3 amp hour battery on there. So in conjunction, I use these a lot for a lot of different projects. So it's kind of cool to have the drill, and then you can go right to screw, especially if you're doing decks, things like that. And like I say, the nice thing is all these batteries are compatible on all this stuff. So if you got another tool out there, you need a battery, just pop it out and stick it in real quick. All right, so that's number 3. The number 4 item I would have is a very useful item. I just bought this one not too long ago. The battery operated Jigsaw. And I use a 4 amp hour typically on this one because these do suck a little bit more power. But a lot of things you can do with a good jigsaw. I mean, you can cut plywood. I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing it all the time, but you can. And they have a little guide that goes on the edge so you can get a nice clean cut. You can cut stuff in walls. You can cut small limbs, you know, if you got the right blade on there. So I wouldn't necessarily probably want to do that, but you could. So I'm trying to think of things you might need these tools for. So this is a good multi-function tool, and with the different types of blades, you can cut metal, you go into drywall and stucco, a lot of different stuff. Like I say, plywood, even 2x4s you could cut. So this is a really nice one. I like it a lot, and you want to get one with a good table right there so that it's easy to adjust and it's sturdy. Some of them are all that sturdy, and I like to check it too, make sure it's good and square if you're cutting 2x4s. But yeah. Nice. And it has a light in it too, so that's cool. But I like it. The only thing I wish it had was a variable speed on the drill or the trigger itself. And it's also got a little adjustment here too for depending on what you're going through. But I kind of wish I could go real slow with it. Some of them do that. Oh, wait a minute. I just found that. So it does have that. It's up here on the top. So you just do this little dial down. So anyway, cool. All right, learn something new every day. Have to use that one more often. All right, and the 5th item is very handy, and it's a light. So these are very cool. It's got a little hanger on the top. It's got multiple settings. High, medium, and low. You can hang it right there like that. And this thing goes and it swivels around. So you can get it, you know, just right where you need it. This thing actually pulls up too. So if you want to put it over a pipe, you could do that. And I've used this on a number of occasions when I'm working with these power tools. So just a nice addition to have. Like I say, it's really nice bright. And I like the low setting too. Sometimes you just need a little light. You don't want it glaring in your face. So, like I say, these are the 5 main ones that I think that, you know, everybody should have in their arsenal for dealing with stuff. Because, like I say, you can drill holes, hole saws. You know, you got screw guns, 2 different types, screwdriver types. Sometimes you really need to wrench in there, or you can use flip the handle down, use the pistol grip on it. The jigsaw, like I say, that's really good for lots of different types of things, cutting holes and plywood and 2x4, stuff like that. And of course, the work light. Now, the add-on to that, the 2 add-ons, is the skill saw. So if you're doing a lot of plywood, cutting like that, you know, and that's something you're going to be doing a lot of, this thing's definitely the way to go. I've got a wired one, but as soon as I got this battery-powered one, it's like I don't even use the wired one really that much anymore. But this too can be a pretty versatile tool depending on what you're doing and what type of blade you have on it. So if you're doing stuff in stucco and stuff like that, you can get an appropriate blade. You don't just cut up a wall like that. So it's got some versatility to it, which I like. If you're really into a lot of 2x4, and they do make a battery-powered chop saw. So that's something else to think about. That's why you kind of got to pick these other two, kind of like, what would apply to you. Somebody might say, yeah, I could definitely use one of those. Somebody else might say, I don't know, I'd use that too much. And at least the Sawzall. Now this thing, you get these different saw blades. So you got some shorts, like a metal blade. Here's a wood, here's another metal, and then the really handy one is the big, beefy saw blade for cutting wood. So like tree limbs, you can cut pretty good sized limbs with these roots. I was like down in the dirt on one, man, just jamming on this root. So that's good to have that one. And these other ones are good for cutting pipes and things like that. Just trying to get areas that, you can't get your jigsaw into. So this is a real handy tool. Again, I use the 4 amp hour on this, and it's good and heavy duty. And anytime I got to cut limbs and stuff, I'm getting this thing out. I mean, you just go to town on it. So it's pretty easy to handle too, even with one hand. So it cut, decent sized limbs. So, all right. So these are the 5+2 bonus hand tools that I personally recommend for anyone who's a prepper or just you want to be more self-sufficient, especially now. In California, they're having like rolling, used to call them brownouts. Now they're kind of blackouts because, they don't really know how long it's going to be off. So when that power goes out and something happens and you've got to like take care of business, you don't want all your power tools to be, wired. You can go out there, and with these 5, you'd be amazed how much stuff you could do if something happened. Windstorm and, tree limb crashes through a, glass window. Now you got to put some plywood. Okay, I can cut the plywood with that. I can drill some holes, put the screws in. So it's kind of the way, I like to think, what can I use these for? Yeah, I could do the plywood with the skill saw, but then maybe I got to cut, a corner out or something to fit around a lock or something like that. Now you're down to like a drill trying to, do that. So this would be a little more versatile than going for, the skill saw. But it's nice, when things happen that you can be prepared and take care of these things, And like I say, I've been really pleased with this brand, the Green series, and they've done me really well over the years. So I look forward to many more years of useful work out of these puppies. So anyway, that is our show for today. You can catch links down below. I'll put up links to all of these so you can go check them out. Some of this stuff you can catch, though we're running specials. They might do it again, or maybe they're still going, where you could buy like one and get one free. That's how I got some of these extra batteries. I bought like one battery pack that was part of it, and then I got to pick like 2 other batteries. So if you shop around, you can get these pretty good prices, or get the kits. They have like whole kits that might have most of what you need. So it's another way to look at it too. Or you can just start one at a time. That's why I kind of did them in order. So you could pick out what might work best for you as you just kind of move along with them. So anyway, I want to thank you for tuning in to Shop Talk. My name is Mark, and this show is brought to you by TuckerSurvival.com. So if you go to Tucker Survival, you can check out all of our channels, our blogs. We do podcasts. We'll be doing more reviews on tools and things like that. I'll probably do some more in-depth reviews on some of these tools as well. So check in at TuckerSurvival.com. We're always putting some new stuff up. Drop us a line if you like. Leave us a comment down below. So anyway, I want to thank you again for joining in to Shop Talk, where sometimes we talk shop and sometimes we just talk. So you go out there and have a safe day, and we will see you again real soon. You've been listening to Shop Talk, brought to you by TuckerSurvival.com and produced by MBJ Media Services.